The past is the past. We never can change what happened already. We made a lot of mistakes that can be undone. But it's okay as long as that is a good mistake, that you can learn something from that. And that eventually will be the foundation for your growth. But there is a bad mistake that can't lead you to the next. You don't realize that is a mistake when it happens, and time flies, then you finally realize that was a mistake. Regret. This happens a lot to us, but there's one way to reduce the chance of it. Listening to regrets of ancestors. You don't always have to go back in time that much. People who have more experiences than you. Listening to their words and apply them to nowadays. Turn the page, there is a scent. Words from their souls are drifting in this room. With a fresh Ethiopian coffee. How's it going, guys? And thank you for coming back to the channel again. So, I made a lot of mistakes in my career, especially when I started out. I didn't know right or left. I learned by myself by watching YouTube and repeating practices so many times. YouTube and social media are a great place to learn today. We can get the visual information like reviews and tutorials. But because of that, because of the capitalism game, sometimes we go for the wrong ways, wrong decisions. Getting some cameras and lenses that you actually don't need yet, or spending so much time, money, and energy on some skills that you actually don't need. And those things keep you away from what you really want and get. But the horrible thing is that you don't recognize that as mistake until you finally realize that is mistake a couple of years later. As I told you in the intro short film, good mistakes are something that you can learn from, which give you the power to the next move, not leaving any regret. I have many regrets, many things I wish I've done sooner. Here is the YouTube video, my review videos. But I don't want you to go for wrong decisions because of my videos. So today, let me share with you 5 things I wish I bought sooner as the filmmaker. Those things might be something that you also need, maybe not, but there is one important crux in this topic that you can apply to anything when you just start out something new. So, as always, get it. Those scenes in this intro short film, don't you think they are freaking smooth? Like, it's too smooth to notice. This move is definitely helping the scene to have certain emotions, but not too obvious. Not jeopardizing the art of filmmaking by some crazy camera moves that we see a lot in Instagram. Those were shot by using a slider. If without it, it's gonna be like this. A slider is very simple gear that allows you to have smooth, linear camera move. You must see at least 20 times in a movie because it gives you the solid and firm camera move, which, like I said, it doesn't degrade the composition, focus, and image quality. Why I think I wish I bought this sooner? 3 reasons. The slider can reduce the shake pretty much completely. Zero shake. Way better than gimbal and stabilization. It comes in between the camera and in our hand, so our emotion is shut out. Zero emotion. But because of that, we can capture the emotion of the scene we create. Straight, pure. We often get into the scene in the movie by forgetting everything, but we don't think like, oh, that's a dope camera move. We just gaze into the scene. Focus on it with a mindfulness. When that, they use a slider or dolly. Here is my mistake. I thought I was making emotions and I was delivering to people. Well, yeah, that's correct. But I was blocking it by my own hands. I made a scene, whatever it is, with something I wanted to deliver, but it didn't go out straight to the audience because my raw hands came in between the scene and the audience. Sometimes it's good for expressing the immersive feeling. Maybe audience can feel your direct emotion through your hand. But in the most important scene, you don't want to jeopardize it. You gotta step back and let the scene do the job. I didn't realize this back then. I think I would have more creative ways, creative options if I knew the existence of the slider. But the slider is very simple and easy to use. Usually you put it on the tripod, but it's super easy to set up, no electronic operation. Oh, by the way, use the manual slider, no like auto slider. It's slow and not that steady and not reliable. And once you set up, it is also super easy to operate and way better than handhold. Also, you can put it on the ground directly so you can have the amazingly easier and better result in the low angle shooting than handhold. When the slider releases its potential most is the product shooting. You absolutely don't want to shake the footage, and you want to have the solid and the firm camera move to make that subject the real subject. Not gimbal, not handhold, only the slider nails it. I've been making a lot of gear reviews, meaning I've been doing a bunch of product shooting. I wish I bought it sooner. 마지됐어.
You know what? I gotta confess something. I used to not use ND filter until 2 years ago. Like this, I was adjusting the exposure by speeding up the shutter speed. Right now it's 1/2000 f1.8, but still it's too bright, so I gotta sacrifice my aperture. Like come on, right now it's f7.1, now it's f8 shutter speed 1/2000. Yeah, not that huge deal when I just do this type of talking head, but when I move, 2000 shutter speed is too weird, too fast. But you know what? I was too lazy to use ND filter because you have to change the filter each time. Every time you change the scene, you change the exposure. So yeah, I was just lazy. But I think some of you guys are still doing it like that, or if you're about to start shooting right now, you might think the ND's priority is low, lenses and cameras are higher. But let me just say this to old me and to some of you guys. Even though you get some fast aperture lens like a 1.4, 1.8, or you commit to the detail of the image quality, out from the expensive cameras and lenses, you can't maximize them as long as you don't use ND filter. This scene in the intro, it was shot on f1.8 with ND, so I was able to remain the shutter speed normal. Also, I was able to use f1.8 to express that bokeh. If without it, it would be so hard to do that. So you got the variable ND. Well, I don't really recommend it. It depends on the quality of that filter, but every VND has the color shift, more or less. Some filters got a terrible color shift that ruined your color grading potential of that camera, of your skill. But I think it's still a good idea to use that VND for vlog, casually, because it's fast and easy. And I sometimes do that. But when it's work, please use a prime ND, such as the one I'm using right now. Right now it's ND16, or this one is ND8. Use the prime ND filters. That allows you to draw the maximum color potential that you have, that your camera has.
Oh my god, this is the biggest regret I've ever made. The monitor with HDMI out. So a while after you started out, you are gonna want the external monitor for more preciseness, but you don't have a bunch of money to buy the expensive monitor, which has both of HDMI out and in. All monitors got HDMI in to transfer video signal from the camera, but only expensive monitors around, over $500 have HDMI out function, to transfer the video from camera to the monitor and to somewhere else. And many people, including me, tend to go for the monitor without HDMI out because it's cheaper, but it got pretty much same quality in only checking the video footage. Back then, I bought this Atomos Shinobi. This is fantastic high quality monitor, but it doesn't have HDMI out. I used to think like, okay, I don't need a HDMI out function because I'm not gonna use the wireless video transmitter right away, like this one. So I bought the Shinobi without HDMI out, but a few months later, it turned out it was such a big mistake. I was getting more opportunities to use the video transmitter, means I need HDMI out. So sometimes I rent a monitor, or sometimes I put the transmitter on the camera directly, sacrificing the monitor. Immediately, I regret. I really wish I bought the monitor with HDMI out sooner when I decided to go for external monitor. You know, at that moment when it just started out, you are eager to grow as the professional filmmaker, creator. It's also easy to imagine that you are gonna need HDMI out function sooner or later, but I couldn't see that because I used to focus on cameras and lenses more. So one thing I learned from this is once you get the ability of do, next thing you gotta do is think about how to brand. Casually make the future vision of your work. Imagine what's happening in next 1 or 2 years makes it easy to know what you are gonna need. So since I got this tube light, this is working so well as my main portable light. You gotta power enough and the quality is so good and it runs by itself with a built-in battery. So you can place this anywhere you want. When I started the filmmaking and this YouTube channel, I used to use the mini LED light, which I don't know where it is right now. You know, that was the key light. But I realized that I needed more legit big light. So I purchased the Aputure 120d, which I am using right now. That is huge light. That was a good move. But I wish I bought the portable high quality light as well, such as this tube light or this type of small light, but it got a potential to be the key light. When you start out, the mobility is so important. At the beginning stage, you might do a lot of kinds of works like a restaurant promotion or street portrait, a fitness video, or this type of YouTube videos. Do you carry the big light to everywhere? Not impossible, but you're gonna have to handle that situation alone, no assistant. So, in my opinion, you don't always necessarily have to go for the big, legit light. I guess the tube light or this type of small light are enough. The ideal is to have both the big light and the portable light. If I have to choose one right now, I think I would go for the tube light or the small light. You know, I can make the key light even with this tube light or small portable light, because I used to do the DIY lighting with the small mini LED light before I get the Aputure light. The important thing is your skill before gears. Also, the mobility to run it faster and easier, because you gotta practice a million times, but you're carrying heavy. Doesn't make sense. If you're about to get some light, I recommend the portable light. I've been saying this so many times, but move fast and shoot a lot. The sound might be more important than visual, especially when you need to record the audio, not the music for the video. Until a couple of years ago, I used to despise the audio, not music, the microphone. I bought this Sennheiser microphone about 2 years ago, and the audio was improved, but before that, I used to use the $30 mic. And now, I absolutely can recognize the audio back then was shit. But back then, I didn't, it was that problem. I was like, the visual is more important. Good cameras and good lenses and good camera moves, dope camera moves. But now I know something is missing. Of course, the video itself is not good as now, but the audio quality. Even now, comparing last video and 1 or 2 months old videos, the audio quality of voiceover is totally different. I used to record my voiceover with a shotgun microphone, but now I'm using this Shure SM7BD, which is the legit vocal mic, not only the vocal, but casually better voiceover microphone. What has been missing was the immersive, raw feeling. I said I bought a Sennheiser shotgun microphone 2 years ago, but that was after 3 years since I studied filmmaking. At that point, I wish I bought it sooner for the better talking headshot quality. Even if something is wrong about the visual, we can put up with it. But what if the audio sucks? It's very hard to continue. I think ears are connected to our brain more directly than eyes. If you don't want to see the video, you just can close your eyes, but you can hear the sound, so you know what is happening at that moment, and probably you can get into the video, the content. But shut your ear. Of course you can see what's there, but it's a little hard to get the immersive feeling. So the sound is actually more important than the visual, except the cinematic B-roll stuff, which doesn't need the audio at all. But if there are scenes that people actually talk, or if you need to record the environment sound, you don't want to compromise the audio microphone. And I realized then I bought a Shure SM7BD for the better voiceover. So what I wish was like having the good shotgun mic when I started out and buying SM7BD about 2 years ago. So the good microphone is the last thing I wish I bought sooner. Alright, how was it? Do you have something you wish you bought sooner? Or if you're about to buy something, did I change your mind? Let me know in the comments below. So we tend to prioritize things for capturing visual, such as cameras and lenses, but think about it. What composes the video? The light and the audio, and of course your story. We easily forget that and put so much energy, time, and money on something that we actually don't need. We can't help it because we live in the capitalism game, the money campaign. The money is the material for the gasoline, and the gasoline is the material for surviving and creativity. But we don't have a bunch of money at the beginning, so we have to use it wisely. YouTube and social media, a bunch of information. Just review some products and done. The poison produced by the internet. So I want to prescribe the antidote to you. Oh, you have a fever, but you want to fix it today. Well, this aspirin works fast. It's expensive, but it's the best. But what I truly recommend is to fix your lifestyle and habit. Aspirin is just for now. Am I a good doctor or the doctor who is the troublesome person today? Okay, this is it. If you have any question, just shoot me anytime, anywhere. And if you like this video, show me a thumb and hit the subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for 50,000 subscribers. Did I say that in the last video? Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. なんか作品作りますわ。じゃあまた。